I just had a conversation with a man. He said, tell me about yourself. I want to know about you. I said, it's best to probably ask me a question and I can respond. Ask me something specific and I'll respond. He goes, name 3 things you can do to keep your man happy. So you have a good evening. I can tell the women sometimes. Be blessed.
You know, sometimes it's really hard to find a black woman who's willing to just be available, just to be kind, just to be normal. That could have easily been resolved, and she would have probably met a really nice guy. Because here's a guy who's asking real questions. She wanted him to ask her some flaky ass, really nonsensical question that would not put her under any pressure. She don't want that man to know anything about her with any depth. In other words, it's hard to date women like this. And these women disqualify themselves before they even start. And unfortunately, that's what keeps a lot of black women single. But that's not what I want to talk about today, my friends. Today, I want to highlight a wonderful couple that I met over on the membership site. And they have kindly sent me a video on describing their relationship and how they met. A lot of the videos that I bring you guys are showing the dark side of women, right? And so I am trying to show you some good relationships from just normal people. People that are not on the internet. People who are not constantly putting their life out there online. And that's hard to do because the mere fact that I'm asking them to do something that is not natural for what they usually do puts them in that position of where I've been advising them not to go. Don't put their relationship online. And now I'm asking them to talk about their relationship online. You see the problem that we have here? And this is the reason why you don't hear about healthy relationships, because most healthy relationships are doing what is best, which is not put their information online. So this is the problem that we'll find in today's internet-based world, where you will more than likely only see the relationships that have failed, because normal people don't put their stuff out there. But Gary and Amelia have decided to do that, and I thank them. And I thank them profusely because they are a wonderful black couple. And listen, to all you other cultures and races of people, don't come at me saying, oh, this channel just for black people. No, it's not. Because the black community faces the biggest of the problems that we currently have when it comes to relationships. Black communities are failing at the largest degree. And of course, that's also my community that I operate in. I cannot talk directly to other cultures in other communities because they're not mine. So please take the similarities that I'm showing you that are occurring in general in the black community, even when I'm talking to the black community or I'm giving you a black example. All right? So my friends, like this video on the way in, please. Listen, I know him as Gary, but his real name is Garfield. So when I say Gary, please note that I'm referring to Garfield. All right? So let's have a listen to just 2 normal people. And just to make you understand that black relationships are possible.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amelia. And
I'm Garfield.
Well, I'm 51. I'll be 52 in August. I'm a teacher, and I live in New York State.
I'm 57. I live in New York State, and I'm a technician.
Yay. Okay. Well, we met on Black People's Meet.
Okay.
Or Black People Meet.
Yeah, Black People Meet. Yes.
Okay, no S.
BlackPeopleMeet.com. Yes.
Yeah. So we met online, and it was about 18 months ago, so August of 2023.
Yes.
Yes.
Coming up on our 2-year anniversary. Yes.
When I turned 50. So anyway, why did we choose to go online? You want to go first?
Yes. So I'm a divorcee. So I was divorced. I was alone for 4 years after the separation, finalized the divorce and all of that. I was enjoying life, but I was single and I did not want to be alone or live the rest of my life alone. I wanted someone in my life to enjoy life with. did not want to be alone. So that's why I didn't go to clubs. I wasn't meeting anyone at the gym because there was a point that I wasn't looking. But at that point that I decided to start looking, I wasn't going to go to any clubs looking for any woman. That's just not me. At the gym, didn't really see anyone that I wanted to talk to or approach because I was specifically looking for a Black woman. So that's where a friend suggested that I try online dating. And ultimately, after going through a couple other situationships, and talking to other ladies, I saw her profile and I was taken by first that it was all natural. That's what I was looking for. No makeup and not a heavy makeup.
Okay.
No, your first picture that's what drew me. It was just,
yeah, true.
And it piqued my interest that a woman would put her picture on the internet, especially on a dating site with no makeup. And it piqued my interest and her hair was natural. So, that's what I was looking for. And, then I saw another picture. I like your hips. It was like, okay. Yeah, so okay, let me reach out to her and, we'll kind of get into the details of that later on.
For all you ladies, I keep telling you over and over, men keep telling you over and over, we want our woman natural. Little lip gloss, little eyeliner. That's it. We don't need the massive amount of foundation. Most Black people have good, beautiful skin. I don't understand why you all cake it on. We know what you look like underneath. And like he said, I wanted natural hair. This woman did exactly what we men have been telling you all for years, decades. She came natural. She found a man. It's not rocket science. It's easy. She's not fat. Look at that smile. Constantly smiling. Very pleasant. Can't beat that. Fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable. Well, she's 50, so she has kids. She's divorced. But at that age, men don't care about that.
But you could.
Anyway, so why I chose online dating, similar reasons as Garfield. I chose online dating because, was too darn old to go to the clubs. And I wasn't meeting people, a variety of people in supermarkets. I mean, I always say, hi, but I'm not saying hi, pick me up. I'll just say hi. If someone's friendly, I say hello. Or we talk about whatever it is that's there to talk about, the fruits, the vegetables, or whatever. But I wasn't meeting anyone that seemed like they were available or approachable or whatever. Since I didn't meet, and I'm not meeting the people at work, and that's, fraternization and all that happy stuff. So forget about it. I think there was one man at the job. So that was not happening. And so I didn't meet people where I went. So I said, I need to cast a broader net. And even though I'd been saying, I got to go online, I'm going to try online, I finally said, you know what? It's my 50th birthday. I'm doing this as a gift to myself. And I went online and I gave it like 6 months, paid for this because I'm cheap.
Yes.
I paid for the 6 months. I said, this is all I got. I'm going to go talk to as many people as I can talk to, or go to as many McDonald's meetings or Panera meetings or cheap dates as possible because I'm cheap. So that's what I did.
Okay.
In getting into the details a little bit.
Gentlemen, she's quite unique. How many women you know in today's environment who just openly admit, listen, I'm cheap. I'll take a man who wants to take me to McDonald's too. I'm fine with that. How many Black women you've heard said that lately? To be honest, I have not heard of any. But I want you guys to have some hope, because the women that don't have a problem with a man taking her to McDonald's, they are available. So, gentlemen, you have to understand that if you keep getting caught up in the world of the internet where you're listening to all of these crazy women who are saying, I'm not going to no cheesecake factory, you're going to get caught up in that reality, not realizing the normal woman, they're not online. But finding them, that's the hard part. But it seems like there's some cool Black people on this dating app that they're talking about. I don't remember the name of it, but you guys will see it.
When I saw his picture, this gentleman was wearing a shirt that had vegan written down in the middle. He was wearing a bicycle outfit, and he was on a bicycle. I can't ride a bike. So I said, next, because I thought this one would have me riding bikes, doing all kinds of things I don't know how to do.
Yes.
So I thought he would torture me, or he would just be out riding a bike and I'd be home waiting for him to come home. So I had a lot of...
Come on, Amelia. This is an opportunity to learn something new. You're still young enough to not break a hip if you fall over on a bike. You can put on the training wheels. Learn to ride that bike and get out there, man. This is your opportunity to learn something different. The idea is don't write off a man because he's different or does different things from you. See that as an opportunity to learn something new. Just my suggestion to you ladies, okay? And the same thing with men. The idea that you need to be compatible like your spouse or your mate, this is just being overblown and over-exaggerated. You might actually find that you enjoy doing that thing with your mate. You learn something new. You're opening up your possibilities. And as we get older, we should be looking at, new experiences without having to travel overseas or, go into any high-risk events. Unless, you're jumping out of a plane, etc. But point is that it's nice to get someone who has different experiences that you've never tried before. Yes, you might have certain things in common, but don't write them off because they do something different or they have different hobbies. Otherwise, you're going to just get stale in your own world.
Misconceptions about what he would be like. So I passed on him. And then a week later, after being told I talk too much and I talk too much by other people, I said, well, let's try the vegan bike rider.
Okay, yes.
So anyway, and here we are a year and a half later doing all kinds of things. But anyway, going back to our background, I think we already mentioned our ages.
Yeah.
Well, I am also a divorcee, in case I didn't say. I got divorced when I was approaching my 41st birthday, and I had a daughter who was a minor, under 10 when I got divorced. And I knew that I was not going to be bringing men into her life. So I figured I'll just put myself on a waiting list until she reached the age where a man wouldn't be afraid to be in my life, or a man, or I felt that my daughter was secure enough that mommy loves her and that mommy wasn't replacing her with somebody else, that I would say, okay, let me go out and date. My kid never gave me the impression that she would be jealous or anything like that, but I definitely thought about her and anyone that I would bring to my life to say, why put people under that situation if it's not necessary? So
yeah, it's one of the hardest things for women is actually dating with a child or dating with a teenager. It's hard, especially if that teenager isn't secure with themselves. They have daddy issues, they have problems, and all it takes is one little white lie to try to make mommy feel, because mommy's no longer paying her attention 100%, or all it takes is one misunderstanding for that daughter to make an accusation, and that poor stepdad is in trouble. Most relationships rarely recover from that. That's why men, I always encourage you, finding a baby mama or a stepmother, finding a divorced woman with a daughter, puts you in a much higher degree of risk.
That's why one of the reasons why it took me so long to get back on the bicycle, so to speak.
Because for me, my separation / divorce, separation, ex left at the age of 50. So sometime after that, then the divorce. So prior to kind of getting back in the dating market, I was alone for 4 years. So, and within that time, I look back on my previous relationship, because that was a 25-year relationship, and I knew what I wanted going forward if it came. Didn't know when, but if it came. So when I started, we met when I was 55.
Yes, sir.
So, and now I'm 57. I have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. So I enjoy the journey. And, I look forward to what we're building together. And
see, that's how men should look at divorce. or any event that occurred in their life. He enjoyed the journey. It came to a painful end, but men basically just say, hey, listen, man, I learned from this. I can either jump back on the bike, like what I said, because that's what I did as well, right? I went through 2 divorces and I said, you know what, let me try again. I will always encourage you gentlemen to try again. Don't give up on a relationship. Just learn from your mistakes. Know what you should avoid, because you're not starting over. You're starting with experience. Remember that. You're starting with experience. You're not starting over. There's a significant difference. So what he's saying here is that, hey, I learned from the mistakes that I've made. I learned from the relationship, and I know what I want in a woman that comes into my life.
I am glad that I tried online dating, because for us, it worked. All right, so what's next?
All right. Well, we already mentioned our children.
Yes.
And so one of the things that made me realize that I was ready for any kind of dating was I did my job. My daughter was no longer a minor. I could leave her alone overnight without supervision. And I said, wait a minute, when this lovely darling leaves, I'm going to be in a house by myself. And that's not what I want to do. And I also started thinking about my dad. He's in a relationship for 20 years, 22 years now. He's been with my stepmom, and my sister has been with her husband for over 12 years now. So, and that's her second husband. So the love of her life. So my sister's doing well in her marriage. It's not perfect, but they're working. My father's doing well in his marriage. Not perfect, but it's working.
No marriage is perfect. That's the reality of life. None. Please never look for perfection in any marriage. Marriages are like the lay of the land, right? With mountains in it. Sometimes it's high, then you have your lows. Sometimes highs and lows. That's the reality of it. And it just depends on what time of the year or what period of time you're going through in your marriage. It could be at a high, or it could be a low, or it could just be in the middle. The reality of it is no marriage is perfect, just like life. People keep looking for this perfection in marriage, and this is where they all go wrong. This is why so many women file for divorce, because they really think that it should always just be a high all the time. And that's impossible. But social media have painted this amazing picture that this person that you have in your life should contribute to their happiness at all times. And it's just the biggest pile of bullshit that has made women walk away from their marriages and end up lonely and desperate to get into another relationship, where most men say, nah, not prepared to do that with you.
And I see the 2 people that are married, and then I have a bigger sister that's also married with her husband working. So I have all these marriages around me, and I'm thinking, I know based on what I see that these people work, that what the little that I see of the little conflicts they have, they're working at it.
Yes.
And they are staying together, working at it.
I think she said it best, because it just came to me. Marriage is always a work in progress. It's a canvas that's never finished. It's never finished. There's always certain parts of that painting that needs to be improved or redone or expanded on. Marriages are never.
So it may not be marriage, a legal marriage with a ring, with a judge and all that stuff, but I definitely want a relationship. I want a partner. I want a person. I want a man. I said it.
And that's what we established from the beginning. I'm looking for a committed relationship, and she was looking for a committed relationship. So once we started, it started quick. We are in a committed relationship from day one. This is a committed relationship. It's not temporary.
He told me.
No. And the only thing that we held each other to is like, don't cheat on me.
Oh God, no.
And I said the same thing. Don't cheat on me, because then it's over. So I think that's the only thing we established from the beginning, that this is the only condition that will break us. We're old enough.
I'm not stealing your money.
We could figure all of that out. I'll put my money in a safe. I'll get a safe. but that, I think that was the most important thing to us because you have to build this relationship. It takes time to build. and so forth. So I think that was the only precondition that we set forth for each other, that I want a relationship. I want someone to grow old with. And I want to know that the person that I'm with and take the oath of saying, yes, although we're not standing before a judge as it's done in this world and in court, no, I'm never going to cheat on you. And if I say that, then it's never going to happen, because there's no condition that I will put myself in, or our relationship will never get to the point where I'm looking out. If I can't fix what's within, then we have a problem. But as long as we can fix it, I'm good.
You see, that's beautiful. You have to have some sort of agreement that, I don't want to use the word confines, but bound each other together in order to give a relationship without the legal binding. It has to give it some sort of binding, because coming together is one thing, but coming together with no binding, no conditions around it, makes it very, very loose, and both parties almost feel like, yeah, well, I'm not married to him. Well, I could do whatever I want, but the conditions must be very clear. And the thing is, if you want that other person to stay in your life, then you got to be you got to have enough discipline to say, if I cheated, if I broke this agreement that we had, the pain of losing this good person is not worth it. Now, the good thing is, once you reach the age of 50s, man, listen, the testosterone and your libido isn't as strong for you to get called out to looking at different punani here and there. And on the other hand, a lot of men aren't hunting 50-year-old women.
And as long as we have that agreement that we are never going to cheat on each other, then we could continue to build and grow as a couple.
You're too cute.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So, I think that builds into the next portion, because we kind of like made a little bit of sketch of what it is we would discuss. So why are we drawn to each other? Well,
yes,
this I like. He has lovely brown eyes. I like his smile, and he's chocolate. And other than that, he's a conservative. I'm very liberal. He's a conservative. And I'll give you this thing. This gentleman has saved me a lot of money. I told you before that I'm cheap, right? Well, I was spending money on things. And with him, it was like, okay, I'm not spending the money on things because I could take the money and save. So within, I think we really started like maybe a year. Yes, a year.
Yeah.
So in a year ago, we started looking at what I do with my money. I worked, I paid the bills, and I have my pension, and I have, a TDA, so tax deferred annuity. So I have that. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. As long as I could continue to make, 75% of what I'm making now, I'll be set for life. And I'm like, and then we started listening to podcasts, and, don't count on this and don't count on that and da-da-da-da. You never know. Save. And I had really no emergency savings. I was using my credit card I kept my credit card balance and said, I'm not using the credit card, but if I have an emergency, I could use the credit card. But that's not a viable way to manage your finances. So since I had no investments and I had no emergency savings, I met him, and within less than a year, actually, I have the emergency savings I need so that I could, I want 6 months. I have 3 months. Yeah. So my ideal goal is to have 6 months of emergency savings. But I'm there. I'm a whole lot closer in 1 year than I was in 20 years. So, yeah. And that's one great, great benefit other than being a chocolate.
See, this is the thing. I keep telling you over and over again, gentlemen, women don't have a very long-term strategy. They don't know about investing. They don't understand what to do. So even though she's not spending a lot of money, she did not invest her money in the appropriate vehicles. It took a man to to open her mind up to understanding what is required for her to actually make more money faster. Number two, they're living together. So now they're cutting expenses. And this is the number one reason I'm always trying to get you guys to find a mate, find a partner. Even if it's the same sex partner, even if you're not gay, find somebody that you can share bills with, because it does save you a lot of money over the long term. It's a significant amount of money that you'll save. So they're doing it right. They're getting together and making sure that they combine expenses. There are benefits to having a mate, my friends.
So yes, what drew me to you, again, your natural appearance. I was drawn to that. Your natural appearance and the way you talk to me. And she's a very feminine woman, and she knows how, not just me, but she knows how to talk to people. And that is rare. And, that's what initially kind of drew me to her physical appearance, and then getting to talk to her. And I like how she talks. She has ways of, expressing herself. And I like it.
It is so true. And Amelia is always on our Saturday. She's so far from the typical Black American female aggressive, ratchet type of behavior. It's such a pleasant experience when we are all talking to her. She says she's a liberal, but she acts very conservative in so many ways, And the beautiful thing is she's agreeable. She knows when a point is made, when we're having a discussion, the men are having a discussion, and a point is made where it's just, you can't refute it. She shakes her head and she agrees. There is no, I'm going to disagree just because I need to disagree because it goes against what, women think. No, she agrees. It makes sense. She agrees. If she hears something that she don't agree with, she will question it. But she won't assert herself as, that's not so. No. Why do you think so? You hear the difference? Why do you think that? Instead of, that's not so. And that's the beautiful way that women should communicate, because that's how men communicate. Men never freaking assert this idea when he's not sure or he's asking a question. He asks the question. But women, for some reason, think that they just can blatantly just assert that it's not so instead of asking a question, because most of the time women will say, well, that's not right or this and that, because I feel, instead of actually stating a point with some logic, most of the time it's I don't feel that's, she don't do that. She will ask a question. That's what I like about her. And I see that Gary has seen the same thing, because that's what makes a woman very pleasant to be around. So hats off to him. So I'm hoping that you ladies can see examples of good, strong, level-headed Black women and how they communicate effectively.
I like it. And although she was told she talked too much, that's how I got to know her, by just listening. A lot of time I just let her talk. And in the first 2 weeks, we talked every day for hours. And that's how I got to know her. That's how, because we would talk when she's driving into work.
Yep.
And I just listened. Yes. And she would tell her life story. That way I was like, okay, I like her.
And there's nothing like getting to know someone when they're driving in New York City traffic.
Yes.
Hey, listen, if a woman is talking and she's pleasant, there's nothing more beautiful. Same with my wife. I love when she talks. She speaks well. She's eloquent. Sometimes she can be a little hard, but she gets the facts across. So I enjoy listening to her. She's not as talkative as most women, but I love when she expresses herself. So there is a comfort to females' company when they're soft, when they're feminine.
So beside her physical appearance, curvy hips, and I think the final piece, like when we met, the first date.
Oh gosh.
And then I was driving home, and we were planning like, what are we going to do next? Well, we were talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And she said, you're the man. You lead, I follow. And that's when I knew that, oh, this is going to be easy. That I'm with someone that is not going to fight me, but is going to just let me lead, and in righteousness, not in a leader over a cliff, but we're going to build something together. And the person that I'm with is not going to fight me. And that's when I knew we are good. We are going to be good. Yes, there will be challenges. There will be ups and downs, but we are not going to fight against each other to destroy what we're building.
Too old to fight.
Yes.
Don't have the muscles.
No, I just want to love you, baby.
You're so cute.
Yes.
All right. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed Gary and Amelia. Listen, my friends, this is what we all want later in life. Because if we can all get this as men, going through the rest of our life with a good woman is much more enjoyable than being on our own. But finding that woman is hard in today's environment and in the Western Hemisphere. But there are diamonds in the rough, my friends. You need to open up different channels to go somewhere else to try to find other women. And listen, I just want you to be cautious when you if you ever decide to become a passport bro. A couple of days ago, I had a call from a gentleman who ended up in Puerto Rico with a baby that he had with a woman who was in America. He moved back to Puerto Rico with her. She ended up talking to him. Was it Puerto Rico? She ended up having a conversation with a doctor who called the police on him and had him arrested. Even though she did not complain to the police and he didn't hit her, it was enough for them to open an investigation and had him locked up for being emotionally abusive. And because he had no one over there to bail him out, he ended up spending over 6 months in jail. Yeah. So all I'm saying, gentlemen, is you got to be careful. And you don't want to end up like this guy here.
Bro, I think I'm in love. With who? With this girl. Her name is Yoseris. She said she really likes me. She said I was different from all the other tourists that come here, bro.
Dude, I promise you, she is saying that to every American that comes through here.
Nah, bro, this is different. This is real, bro. She keep calling me Poppy.
She's just trying to get money out of you. I promise you, she's saying.
Nah, bro, she got her own job. She said she's a chapeadora.
Bro, that means like a gold digger, dude. That's what that means.
Nah, bro, I don't think she works in the mines, dog.
There's no way you're this stupid. There's no fucking way.
She even got a cute little nickname for me, too. She called me Puta. This might be the one, bro.
I promise you, not every girl that calls you Poppy is the one.
All right, bro, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the ATM.
For what?
Marisol needs a retainer, bro. Her teeth are fucked up.
Who the fuck is Marisol?
Her daughter. Well, I guess she's my daughter now, too.
Jesus Christ, this is why I cannot take you anywhere, bro.
I'm just trying to be a good dad, bro.
You're
That's
not
it.
a fucking...
You don't want to be that guy, my friends. So all I'm saying, brothers, be cautious, be careful. There are some good women on home turf, and I'm not trying to discourage you from becoming a passport bro. All I'm saying is be cautious. All right? So my friends, let me know what you think. Let's have a discussion in the comment section. If there are other normal couples out there who are happily in relationships, black, white, brown, I don't care. Send me a recording. You could either upload it to YouTube, keep it private. I can download the link, or you can upload it to Google Drive, send me an email. Doesn't matter how you get it to me. And you give me permission to feature it. I'll be happy to put it on air because I want to hear from more happy couples, normal people who are not online. Yeah, I know that's an oxymoron. I want to be able to present more happy relationships. So my friends, until tomorrow, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you soon. Cheers.